Previously on X-Men.
Response to that trailer that you made has been phenomenal. I mean, thousands of people liking it or reacting to it in some way.
I mean, I expected good feedback. Certainly expected everybody to be kind of, some people to be enthusiastic, but to see the reactions from these different communities, it's been unbelievable.
How has the Communist Party community treated you in this response? What has their feedback been?
I haven't quite got much from them, from that community. I'm pretty sure those guys.
We can find out. We could ask Commi3 Mark.
Commi3 Mark.
Who is Commi3 Mark? I don't really know. Apparently a guy that doesn't like me?
Oh, here we go, the Rippaverse drama. Some people mistakenly believe that this is a drama channel. It's not. It's a history channel, and tonight we're going to go over the history of the launch of the Rippaverse or whatever. You probably have questions like, who is Eric July? What's Isom all about? What the hell is a Soka sister? So grab your popcorn, click like and subscribe, and let's roll the fucking credits.
All right, from Superman to Thor, comic book characters are getting a woke makeover. We've been telling you about this.
Whoa, have they? I didn't know that. Thanks, Fox News, for your excellent finger on the pulse of the issue's reporting. I didn't realise it was still 2016. I know it's easy to dunk on Fox News for their sensationalist reporting and their lack of journalistic integrity, but it is important to remember that they're just as much a part of the establishment machine as uber-woke Big Pharma shill CNN. These organisations publicly offer the illusion of choice and a facsimile of freedom, while in the shadows they conspire together in secret to support the neo-colonialist American empire.
Yes, we came, we saw, he died.
To disseminate the official lizard people propaganda, to shut down debate and discussion and maintain the status quo. Now I know I'm already getting into communist rantings or whatever, and we haven't even started yet. The point is though that the mainstream show media ain't gonna talk about anything that they perceive as a genuine challenge to global corporate hegemony.
You have a new comic book publisher promising to ignore cancel culture, and it is paying off.
Hey, I'm an anti-cancel culture comic book publisher. Man, isn't it great to see yourself and your intersectionalities represented on screen in the media that you consume? It's like they're talking about me. The anticipation excites me, and I have this overpowering urge to dip deep into my proletarian pockets and just hand over my hard-earned wage slavery wages and purchase some Fox News approved safe corporate product. Woo, go capitalism.
Rippaverse's debut, comic book #1 Isom, is #1, nearly made $3 million already.
One of the arguments that I've seen Rippaverse detractors use is Isom 1 was only a success because of Fox News, and let's hammer a nail into the coffin of that talking point right here and cross it off the list. He just said the book had made nearly $3 million already.
Isom is #1, nearly made $3 million already. Founder of Rippaverse Comics, Eric July, and artist behind it all of Isom, Gabe Abdullah El Talib, joins us now. Congratulations to both of you, I guess.
Sincere congratulations are merited here, raising just under $3.75 million, or $2.9 million in real money. Raising that in sales for your first ever comic book is an impressive achievement, and I'm all for this. Creators should be free of corporate control and financial exploitation. They should seize the means of production for themselves and tell the kind of stories that they want to tell. Redistribute your uncensored message, touch people's hearts, win their minds, and echo through the ages. But enough of that airy-fairy being an artiste stuff. Let's get back to this really important advertisement for how much money Isom 1 made.
Eric July, and artist behind it all of Isom, Gabe Abdullah El Talib, joins us now.
Okay, so straight off the bat, we have a factual inaccuracy. Brian Kilmeade, or whatever his name is, describes Gabe as the artist behind it all. And I want you to notice the moment of bewilderment in Gabe's eyes as he processes what he's just heard.
By an artist behind it all of Isom.
There is another moment like this between Gabe and this Brian News guy that I'll get into later in the video as a bonus type thing, so make sure you stick around for that. For the record, Gabe is not the artist of Isom #1. That honour goes to former Marvel or DC or both artist Cliff Richards. Not to be confused with the 100-year-old Christian heartthrob Cliff Richards, seen here commanding marine mammals like an even shitter version of Aquaman. To his credit, Eric July does name check his artist Cliff later on in the interview. That whole error is on the laughable journalistic integrity and the due diligence work of light news entertainment outfit Fox and Friends, rather than on July himself. For a lot of people, this interview with mainstream shill legacy media will have been their first exposure to Eric July. You know, your grandma doesn't watch Blaze TV, but she knows who Brian Kilmeade is. He's the guy who said these things.
Not all Muslims are terrorists, but all terrorists are Muslim. We keep marrying other species and other ethnics, and Swedes have pure genes because they marry other Swedes, because that's the rule. Finns marry other Finns, so they have a pure society. In America, we marry everybody.
And now here he is congratulating Eric and Gabe on their financial success. Cool. Anyway, the point is that in this moment, this Fox News interview, this is the first real mainstream exposure of Isom and the Rippaverse to the wider general public. For me though, my introduction to Eric July, aka YoungRippa59, was as the crazy libertarian meme guy who lost his mind over roads.
Damn level 1 rookie, childish kindergarten ass bitch made argument that you throw out there is, what about the roads? You must drive on the roads, you must hate the roads. And you somehow think that the thing that's gonna stump us and be like, damn, fuck this libertarian shit, is the motherfucking roads.
Now, I'm acutely aware that I'm a dumb guy, a weak, skinny, soy, white boy communist or whatever who wants to steal your toothbrushes and redistribute them to illegal immigrants. But I'm still yet to see a succinct counter position to this question about roads from any libertarian. Go read a book is usually the reply. But you may be surprised to know that despite our polar opposite political positions, I actually agree with Eric on quite a few things, like for example that the state has a monopoly on violence and that normal people could just come together, cooperate and make important decisions that affect them and their local neighbourhoods, that they could do this fairly and without economic exploitation. They could meet regularly to debate in the field of ideas and democratically decide the course of action that best suits every party involved. This could happen all over the country, in every major city, town, county and district. We could call them Soviets, and eventually these Soviets could all cooperate and Voltron themselves into some kind of a massive union. I get told all the time that this is an impossible pipe dream that goes against human nature, but I'm with Eric on this one. You might say that I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one.
Let's start with you, if we can, Eric. What gave you this idea? What prompted you to do what you did in October?
Okay, so to properly answer that question, we're gonna need to rewind a little bit.
My way of activism and spreading the message is by way of infiltrating the culture.
Whoa, not that far. Ignore that. Delete that part from your memory. I meant more like rewind back to the Isom #1 trailer.
I'm Eric July, founder, owner, and writer. Welcome to the Rippaverse.
Founder, owner, writer, in that order.
You've watched some of your favorite comic book characters be bastardized to the point to where they're completely unrecognizable. They're just used as career stepping stones for a lot of writers that don't care about the lore. Some even despise their fans.
It's true, they do. We see these big shot comic pros who think they know everything insert themselves into the characters and treat paying customers like dirt, insult them, block them on Twitter, even threaten them with physical violence, all in the hopes of bagging some fancy animation deal or a video game or even live action movie.
Sure, we want to expand in many different avenues. Video games, animation, maybe even live action movies. They're just used as career stepping stones. Those are people that just want to tell stories that represent their social political views.
My way of activism and spreading the message is by way of infiltrating the culture.
We are a comic book company first and foremost that will never be forgotten no matter how big this venture gets. And we are guided by a set of principles known as the Rippaverse ethic. You will find this on a page in every single book that we release, and it's a set of standards that we certainly want you to hold us to. There are three main things that we will always emphasize. Number one, respect the customer.
It's great that Eric has promised to respect the customer. I mean, sure, it's basic hot dog salesman 101 stuff, but he's speaking my language here. He's preaching the gospel of Comicsgate. That's the issue in a nutshell. A bunch of egocentric political activists infiltrated the comic book industry, changed all the characters for the worse, and then labelled the fans as racist istaphos for complaining about it. So I'm glad to see that Eric is none of those things and is fully committed to respecting the opinions of his customers and is open to feedback. In fact, he even encourages it.
Libertarianism isn't about shut the hell up, don't say nothing, don't voice an opinion when a business does something. We believe, hell, we encourage that sort of complaint, right? We see you having a bad business practice, we're loud about it because we want other people to know about it, obviously, and that sort of puts pressure on the institution to change their business practices, or you take your, money, whatever have you, you take that elsewhere, right?
Let 100 flowers bloom, or whatever. I'm sure that's gonna go well.
But we'll respect you, so as long as you respect us, it's all about reciprocity.
I do want to come back to this one, so excuse me for a moment while I effortlessly karate chop away these next two commitments.
Our second point of emphasis is canon and continuity. And number three, a comprehensive timeline.
It's issue 1, bro. I get that you're committing to maintaining continuity into the future, but for issue 1, that's a promise hollower than the space between Xander Hall's ears. And look, I'll tell you the timeline right now. It starts here with Isom number 1, and issue 2 ain't out yet. At this point, that also is a meaningless promise.
And while I personally value liberty, we're not going to beat you over the head with on-the-nose current politics and current narratives that will completely contradict what it is that we're trying to do here.
My way of activism and spreading the message is by way of infiltrating the culture.
We only answer to the customer. We don't want to make the same mistake as the other guys.
Wait, that's the end? Where's the fucking story? What's the book actually about? What about all these interesting characters that you've created? What about the hero's journey? Even in the Fox interview, the closest thing we get to story is the name Avery Silman appears on the screen for like 1 second. This isn't about telling great stories, it's about starting a business. The story of Isom isn't about the story itself. The story of Isom is, look how much money this based, non-woke comic book made. And that's baked into the very Rippaverse ethic.
And we are guided by a set of principles known as the Rippaverse ethic. You will find this on a page in every single book that we release, and it's a set of standards that we certainly want you to hold us to. There are three main things that we will always emphasize. Number one, respect the customer.
Now, I don't mean to go all full crazy Alan Moore magic power of words stuff here, but just look at the money language choices here. It either reveals the true accidental subconscious intentions of the writer, or it's a deliberate woo-woo, putting it out there in the universe, Oprah Winfrey, the gift nonsense type thing. And I'm not sure which is worse.
You have a new comic book publisher promising to ignore cancel culture, and it is paying off.
We don't want to be anti-woke and attack people. We want to be non-woke. You know, we just want to give people classic superhero action.
And while we're looking at the Rippaverse ethic, I'd like to point out that despite all the hype and posturing about woke comic books and cancel culture, the Rippaverse ethic itself doesn't say anything about anything like that. And there's nothing wrong with aiming your work at the largest possible audience, at the lowest common denominator. It's literally what it means to be mainstream. And Eric just wants to sell as many books as he can, and that's fine. He's allowed to do that. Anyone can make comics and tell their stories. But do not be mistaken, this is not about stories. This isn't about respecting the customer. It's all about dollar bills. Look, it's even reflected in the campaign stretch goals, asking not what extra can I give to the customer, but what tax-deductible business upgrades can I gift myself. Respect for the customer. And he says it all, it's not hidden in the slightest. Remember, founder, owner, writer, in that order.
We are a comic book company first and foremost.
How much more direct can a person be? I've seen celebrities launch comic books before, and I've seen political commentators do the same. I've even seen Belle Delphine successfully sell a bathwater to her audience. None of this interests me artistically, and I'm not interested in building a privately owned Daily Wire style alternative mainstream corporation that behaves like the very thing it's supposed to be fighting against. I'm a pseudo-intellectual elitist comic book snob or whatever. I want my comic books to make me feel and to make me think. I want to be challenged. I know that people hate on Alan Moore and the whole deconstruction thing, but that's what makes stories interesting. There's a million comics out there. Show me something that I haven't seen before. Lame, safe, uninteresting comic book self-inserts are lame with or without wokeism, but I'm sure that Eric July is just keeping the story close to his chest because he's worried about spoilers getting out or something. And then when people do read his masterpiece of the written word, I'm sure we'll hear all about everybody's favourite parts. Detractors might say that I'm only hating because of my communism. They'll say that it's bad faith criticism, that it's ironic that I'm criticising Eric for making money in a video that I'm only making to make money myself. But that's not true. I'm retelling the story of the Rippaverse because I'm a storyteller, speaking truth to power, smash the system, all that stuff. I'm trying to increase my reach to a new audience to hear my message, hopefully bag a few new subscribers. I mean, Jesus Christ, even Intellectual Powerhouse Comic Book Hut has more subscribers than me. At this point in the timeline, I saw what Eric was offering and I wasn't interested. I mean, is this a comic book trailer or a startup business pitch on an E-Celeb special episode of Dragon's Den?
I'm out.
Fine.
That's not the end though. I did promise you earlier another Brian Kilmeade versus Gabe El Tayyib moment, and here it is.
Gabe, you said you walked away. You said it was because I was upset that they wanted to make Superman woke and get rid of the slogan, truth, justice, and the American way. Why was that the straw that broke your back?
Oh, thank you for having me, Brian.
Dude just called Gabe a camel to his face.
Why was that the straw that broke your back?
Oh, thank you for having me, Brian.
And what was his epic comeback? Thanks for having me. You should have kicked off right there, bro. Fox News be disrespecting the Rippaverse like that. Smash that shit up. That would have been an even bigger viral sensation. But no, play it safe. Kiss ass and schmooze with the corporate establishment media. Only challenge the narrative when it's safe to do so. Help to maintain the status quo. You have to applaud Eric, though, for what he's achieved. $3.7 million in sales, a whirlwind press tour, and the book's already done, and it'll ship out in just like 70 days, don't you worry. We'll check the reaction to the release in the next video, or whatever, but I'm sure that everyone's gonna be very happy with Isom #1. I mean, Isom #1 outperformed Keanu Reeves' Berserker, right? Can we fact check that? I think that's true. But you have to congratulate YoungRippa59. He's achieved the very thing they set out to do. He's gone mainstream. Alright, that's the end. I hope you learned something. Fuck up.